Looking sweaty, looking good, man.
Yeah,
Fuck it, let's just start it. Let's just go in. Let's just go. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Just finished up wrestling practice at the college, and then right over here to MMA. Getting ready for this next fight.
Brother, giving fades inside and outside the cage. You're 3-0, right? And you never made it out the first round. Everybody who's came, they tried, they weren't successful. They came, you shot them down, one right after the other, right? How are you feeling
hmm
going into this championship fight?
Man, I feel great. This is gonna be a good little challenge for me. I'm just prepping like I have every other fight. I haven't underestimated any of these guys, and I try to be as ready as I can be when I get in there.
On paper, do you think this is your toughest opponent yet that you faced?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man. I was looking at both of you guys' tape, and it just seems like, when you have two stars, and they seemingly just align right now. I guarantee you this will be nothing but bangers. Over under, I don't think it's going over the first round at all.
hmm
I think it's everybody who's gonna attend that show is definitely gonna get their money's worth once they go. No doubt about it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I try to make it entertaining, every time I get in there.
Yeah, so explain to the people, because we're like I believe 2.5 weeks out, or no, I think like 11 days, correct?
Yeah.
What can people expect from you every time you step into that cage?
Oh, just put on a show, give it my all. I'm going in there. It's me or that guy. That's how I look at it every time I get in there.
Right on, man. And how'd you get into MMA?
Well, I used to wrestle back in high school, a little, college, nothing too, crazy. And then my cousin, he owns Ochoa Combat Academy, and he's been telling me to get in there. And then I finally took the chance back in July of last year. And then back then, last year, July, I was about 350 pounds. And um, I got really, started, shedding some weight. I want to say by September, October, I probably hit like 310. And then I told him, like, give myself a little goal. At the end of the year, I was like, I want to fight. I can make 65 by the end of the year. And he got all excited. So, I gave myself that goal. They ended up pulling that first fight. And then I committed to it was January 24th. And then, it's just been going on ever since then.
Brother, when when you first knocked dude out, your first knockout, how did that feel?
And this last one,
No, your first one, your first fight.
oh, my first TKO.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were all over the place. I went in there thinking, this is what I'm gonna do, and it was all just instinct. I didn't even think to like, take the guy down, nothing, and we were all over. And then once I, got on top control, and I just started hitting him, and I seen the ref out of the corner of my eye come in, like like he's gonna stop the fight, and then he stopped it, and it was just the best feeling, in the world. Like it's like reminds me of those wrestling days, when they raise your hand in the middle of the mat, all that. There's no better feeling.
Right. And it happened once, then it happened again, then it happened again.
Yeah.
So, did you expect you to, did you do you shock yourself every time you step in the cage and you're like, "Dang, man, like I did it once, I did it twice, I did it thrice." Is it a shocking feeling every time, you put on a great performance like that and you're getting these dudes in and out of there?
Yeah. I think you see it on my face every time. Like, I have the biggest smile on my face. I think after this last one, especially, like, once I hit him, I think like a couple times and he was just out. Like, it was just, a big old smile across my face, Definitely shocked myself because I've never, hit anyone like that. I've never, like, I've never really let go.
Right, man. And it's awesome to get them out of the first round, but are you kind of like sometimes left wondering like, well, how's it gonna be when I get to the second and third round if it ever comes to it? Is that in the back of your mind a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I've prepared for that every fight I go into. I'm running, we're doing 5 5 minute rounds or more over here. I'm wrestling. I go MMA, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing. Like, I just try to stay moving and I try to stay active and like, I go on runs, do sprints. Um, I'm really, really trying to prepare for, when it does come down to that. Because, last thing I want to do is say, I lost because I gassed out or something.
Mm. Yeah, man. And you mentioned your weight loss. Are you looking to go more down in weight and eventually, test out light heavyweight or even in the future go a little bit lower, or you think you'll be staying at heavyweight indefinitely?
I don't know. Like, I just feel like, pretty good where I'm at, like as far as like, in the heavyweight category.
Yeah.
But I can definitely, I want to drop down to probably like 230, 240, be a little quicker, trim down a little bit too. But definitely, put on a little size after that.
Right. I mean, from seeing it on the broadcast and everything, you definitely see every fight your progress. Like comparing it from your first fight all the way to your last fight. I'm like, whoa, bro, is like, in good shape. Even though, like you said, you're still in good shape. And then all these quick all these quick turnarounds, man. Like your first fight was in January, then you did March, and then you did April, and
Hmm.
you're very, and then now you have another one in May.
Yeah,
Is it because you're finishing these dudes quick? You're like, hey, put me back in. Is that what goes
exactly.
on?
Exactly. I tell my coach right after every fight, I'm like, hey, I think the first fight, my first one is I got hit and I got hit in the face once, kicked, took a little leg kick, and that was it. Like, I told him right after the fight, hey, I'm ready to go again. Tell Jeremy put me on the next one, and then the after that next one, tell Jeremy put me on the next one, and then it's been all three. I
I
haven't really
definitely feel
taken too
like
much damage.
definitely feel like you're a promoter's dream fighter. Just keep on asking to just get right back in there. Like, put me back in, coach. I got this. How is it balancing work life and fighter's life? And correct me if I'm wrong. I do see car seats in the back. Are you a father also?
Yep, yep.
So
I
how,
got four little ones.
oh man, God bless, man. So how is
Yeah,
it balancing work life, family life, and fighter's life?
it's been pretty good so far. I got into it like I said, fitness wise for sure, but also to set a better example for my kids. I've not only changed my diet, but I've also changed, their eating habits. Also, obviously, they still get to have their fun and all that, but keeping it to a minimum. And then just, show them, hard work. And then it's cool, like seeing my son and I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they just go to school, they brag all about me, my fights and this and that. It's pretty cool. And he comes in and tells me like, about, wrestling and all that because I coach over here at Ochoa as well. Um, as of late, not really, just because I've been in fight camp for months now. But it's really awesome. And then with as far as my work, I make my own schedule being a barber.
Yeah, man. It's always blessing to me. Dad life's the best life, because
It
I have a
really is,
son.
yeah.
I have a son. I relate to it in every type of way. Four, I don't have four of them yet. Not yet. I gotta get up there with you, but I don't got four yet, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
But it's admirable that you took your health into consideration and you really locked in. And not only that, it's like you tested yourself by competing. Because you could have just been the
yeah,
dad that goes and trains, but you're actually doing it and stepping in that cage. You know.
yeah, yeah. It's always been on my bucket list, to just go in there and try.
hmm
But these last couple times, I'm like, all right, let's try again. Let's try again.
Man, do you kind of feel like it's happening really fast though? Like we said, like this would be your fourth fight in less than 6 months, and it's
Fourth in a
for the
row.
championship.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, like just how it happened, like a couple months ago. I just the new guy in the gym, and all of a sudden, teaching some of the guys, some wrestling and just different little things, or just telling them about my first experience in the ring. It's crazy. It has gone by really, really fast.
Do you feel like a little like superstar, starstruck, or anything like that? Like You're the guy walking in the gym. You're the guy who just KO'd somebody, and then you just KO somebody again and again and again. Is it anything like that, or is it just real humbling? Help out when you can at the gym, whenever somebody asks, stuff like that.
I'd say it's, the second one for sure. It's cool, like, everyone giving me my props and all that, but the guys, they definitely still talk shit. That's we're always doing that.
They be like, "Well, damn, can you let them breathe? Can you make it past the first round? Can you, can
I
you,
know that's the same. That's the thing. My buddy that was just on this last one, Blake, he's like, I don't know if you can do it past the first round. I don't think you got it in you. Yeah,
No, man, it's definitely explosion when you fight, dog. Like I said, it was like I you made the study film real easy because I was just watching your fight right after the
yeah,
other, and I was like, well, this one was quick. This one was quick. I believe your walkouts were a little bit longer than the fight,
definitely. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just crazy, man, and God bless. Final the mic's all yours right now. Anything you want to say to your friends, family, supporters, the mic's all yours. Just give them a shout if you want.
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you to everyone that's, been there to support me from the beginning of my journey. It's been awesome, and I'm not even close to being finished yet. This is only, the beginning. And my teammates, my coaches, friends, family, even like, everyone that comes out and, supports me at the fights. I'm getting to know a lot of new people. It's really awesome.
All right, there you heard it, folks. It was a pleasure to have you on, brother. I appreciate you. I will be watching the fight. I'm just gonna know it's gonna be real quick either way it goes, but just know I'm there watching. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss this main event for 559. Again, it's the heavyweight championship. 3-0, 4-0. Somebody's O's gotta go.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. I appreciate you for coming on. You have a good one.
All right, you too. You have a good one.
Thank you.